Om Guru, Jai Sai Ram. I'm Sonali Bhasin Kumar, and I'm back again to talk about some really special and powerful dates which are coming up, which will mark the end of this year. So, to begin with, the first date which is in front of us is the 18th of December, which is the day when we have the full moon. So, this is a very special full moon. It's called the cold moon because it is close to winters, it is in December. And this is actually when the winter season is beginning, which is why it is called the cold moon. And another very important feature of this moon is that it is very close to the winter solstice, which is coming on the 21st of December, which is, as we all know, winter solstice means the longest night of the year and the shortest day of the year, which is in the northern hemisphere, which is on the 21st of December. Now, the second important date is that on the 19th, because it's actually something that begins on the 19th and ends on the 29th of January. And this is when your Venus goes retrograde in Capricorn. So that's a beautiful period for tapping your feminine energy or feminine consciousness. So Venus goes into retrograde in Capricorn on the 19th of December, and it carries on till the 29th of January, so almost for over a month. And then, of course, last but not the least, another very special date which is coming up is the 21st of December, which is the winter solstice, as I've already spoken, which is the longest night of the year. So that's a very powerful day and a very special day spiritually. There's a lot to gain in that. So let's go back and first talk about the Venus, which is going into retrograde in Capricorn on the 19th. So what does this mean? So like I said, Venus rules the feminine in our consciousness. So what happens during a retrograde? I've already spoken about this in the past, but I would touch upon this again. So what usually happens in retrogrades is that retrogrades usually urge us to review our past and focus on whatever needs our attention. For example, this is the time when you sit back and you do shadow work because some things come up. So during retrograde periods, actually these are periods of great learnings because a lot of things from your past creep up, they come up. For example, something to do with relationships or something to do with habits. This is actually, like I said, the best time to always do shadow work. So this is the time when the retrograde period is starting, is basically to sit down and introspect and think as to what is it which is causing whatever is happening in your life during the retrograde period, because this is a very powerful time. So I'm going to talk about the Venus retrograde. So the purpose of a Venus retrograde is basically to see patterns which are related to our innocent, vibrant, young, playful self, in context of love and romance. So, Venus is the planet of love. Venus is something which talks about love and relationships. So, today I'm actually going to talk about love and relationship, because when Venus goes into retrograde and in Capricorn, it's a very powerful time, for relationships and love and romance to blossom in your life. So, what happens is that during this time, all these patterns or these themes, they basically emerge to the surface. So suddenly something from your past will creep up, some old boyfriend, some old girlfriend will come into your life again, come knocking on your door. So the reason is that these themes are emerging, or these scenarios emerge during the retrograde period, because they are teaching us to evolve and grow. And Capricorn is actually the perfect placement for this kind of evolution, because when Venus goes into retrograde, it's basically literally like from a girl you become a woman, or from a boy you become a man. So it's basically a shift that happens wherein from your young playful self, your vibrant self, you suddenly evolve and become or grow into a wise woman. So I'm going to point out a few things which you can notice during the retrograde period. Number one is that you might have a few exes knocking on your door. So don't be scared and don't think as to, oh my God, what happened? Why is this person back again into my life? So basically, you see, the reason why this person is coming back into your life is because um, for you to see how much you have grown, how much you have evolved, or how matured you have become. Or probably this person is coming back into your life in order for you to know, you know, in order for you to work on that relationship uh, properly now. So there are two things, like I said. So either this person is back in your life in order for you to test yourself and see whether you've evolved and matured or not, or whether you're still there, or basically maybe to work on your relationship. The second point to notice is that during this time, deeper commitments can be made. Now, what do you mean by deeper commitments? When I talk about deeper commitments, so please remember one thing: it is not advisable to marry during the Venus retrograde, because this you can say that this is actually a time to revise commitments. So if you've committed to somebody, it is a good time to get engaged, probably, or it is a good time to revise your commitments and your relationship, but definitely not a very good time to get married. Now, the third thing is that at this point of time, you could meet a new love. So, if this happens, please remember it might be rocky in the beginning, but eventually it is going to stabilize. Uh, Another point which you can notice might be you facing challenges in your current relationship. So you might need to revise the relationship or agreements in some way, with your partner. Um, Another thing which can happen during the Venus retrograde, which you can do during the Venus retrograde, is you can finally release an old love. So, if there is something which is not working out in your favor, if you and your partner are not getting along, and you really think that this is the end and there is no way forward, it is actually a good time to let go of an old love. Um, Last but not the least, you may feel magnetic. So don't be surprised if you attract anybody in your life, because you may attract more attention and potential suitors or potential boyfriends or girlfriends or partners over the next month or so. So these are a few things, which can happen during the retrograde. Now, I want to give you a few pointers in order to tell you as to how to make the most of this time, which is this retrograde. So the first point to note here is, please, first and foremost, something which I always preach, something which I always say to everybody who comes to me: focus on yourself and deepen in self love and acceptance. So go deep into self love. Second, enhance your confidence. Work on your confidence. It's a great time to do that. Third, this is a great time to start working out, start working on your physique, start working on your health, basically detox, get into intermittent fasting. So, this is a great time to be doing that. Next point is, please allow yourself to grow and evolve and change. This is a great time to work with healers, counselors, or coaches who can actually support you in creating a positive outlook. So I do just that. So so work with them in order to change your perspective, in order to change, to bring about change in your life and start thinking more positively. Next thing is, spend time with your maiden self. Now, what is your maiden self? When I'm talking about the maiden self, I mean spend time with that playful, vibrant girl, that teenage girl, that you are. Get present to that teenage girl within you. In fact, I go one point further and I say that meditate and go deeper and connect with that 13, 14, 15-year-old you, which is your teenage self. And going a step further, I would actually say sit down and write a love letter to that teenage self, and spend time in connecting with that part of you. It's very important. That's what the Venus retrograde is all about. In the end, I just want to say that we are all affected by retrogrades differently. So I might be getting affected by the Venus retrograde in a different way, and you might be getting affected by the retrograde in a different way. So nothing can be generalized as such astrologically, because a lot depends on your personal birth chart. So if Venus is good in your personal birth chart, if the Venus is healthy in your personal birth chart, then this retrograde period is actually going to be really, really beautiful. I hope I was able to give some insight into the Venus retrograde, which is starting on the 19th. Thank you so much for listening to me. Love and light. Om Shanti.